Hello, my loan officer friends. It's Chris Johnstone, the host of loanofficerpodcast.com. And what you're seeing on the screen here is how we're getting funded mortgage deals for our clients from ChatGPT and Grok and Gemini and all of the AI tools. We are living through this massive technology shift where people are moving away from searching on Google and doing searches inside of AI assistants. And we have figured out how to get your mortgage business recommended by the artificial intelligence. And you can see a hint in the search that I've done here. So who's the best mortgage broker to work with for a self-employed mortgage in Tampa, Florida? You see first-time home buyers, reverse mortgages, FHA, you name it. There is a specific journey that people go through in order to get to the point where the AI recommends a mortgage lender. And through working with us, we can make it so that we've generated enough content on your website, on social media, on all the places that it needs to be for AI to pick you up as the authority and then recommend you to new customers. These leads that are coming in are closing at ratios that are very close to Realtor Referrals or referrals from your past customer database. So I believe that the greatest opportunity that you have to go consumer direct in your mortgage business is to get artificial intelligence to send you referrals, and we can help do that for you. So right now, go to loanofficercrm.ai. So loanofficercrm.ai/AIO, which stands for AI optimization. So loanofficercrm.ai/AIO. On that page, you'll be able to opt in, see some free training on how you can do this yourself, and have the opportunity to book a one-on-one call with our team where we will analyze your marketplace, show you which of your competitors is currently being recommended by ChatGPT. Who knows, it might be you, right? Great news. But you don't know if you don't show up to the consult. And then what we'll do is actually map out a plan for how you can work to get recommended in the AI. And if you don't want to do the work and just have us do it for you, we'll talk to you about how we can help you with that. So that's loanofficercrm.ai/AIO. Go ahead, book your consultation, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of loanofficerpodcast.com. Today, we are blessed to have Brendon Murphy on the show. Brendon, welcome.
Chris, I appreciate you having me.
It's my pleasure. And for the fine folks, I know many of them will know you, but for those that don't, just give us a quick rundown of like where your business is at right now and how long you've been in the business.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, located in like the Fairfax, Virginia area, I do lend pretty much the entire East Coast, but the mortgage division of my bank is in Chantilly/Fairfax, Virginia. We're kind of in that niche right outside of the DC area.
Excellent. And are you tell me about team structure? How does that work?
Yeah. So, work for a small community bank. So we don't just have a mortgage division. We have a pretty good sized bank that supports the Northern Virginia area. We're actually growing outwards, but the mortgage division, we've got about 15 LOs. We've got our manager, we've got our sales manager, and then I'm one of the senior loan officers working for the mortgage division.
That's amazing. And so tell me, how did you get into the mortgage business?
Yeah, great question. So out of college, I tried the recruiting gig, which I feel like a lot of us salespeople do right out of college. It's the sexy first offer that you get, and I enjoyed it. A lot of fun people. It's an upbeat crowd, but it was rough. It felt like I wasn't really able to connect with people. It's a 9 to 5. You're just calling. Didn't love it, and then I stepped into what I would consider to be one of my dream jobs, which I was actually a general manager of an auto spa. It was an auto detail company, and it was one of the premier detail companies of the East Coast. We worked on the Audis, the BMWs, the Teslas. We actually had a deal with the Tesla dealership in Tyson's Corner, and I got to meet some really cool clients, drive their cars, help them, manicure their cars, as we would call it. And it was a really fun gig, but after a certain point, at that time, girlfriend and I kind of wanted to grow a little bit more, and I decided that maybe it's time to try a different career out. Interviewed with quite a few different companies. My dad's done extremely well in software sales, so I interviewed with a few companies there, but I didn't love the the non-personal side of business to business sales. And I thought I'd take a jab at the mortgage industry. And God has blessed me. I'll tell you what. The first year and a half was as scary as as it can be. I think I made like 30,000 my first 12 months, and I was barely scraping by. But then I got blessed, and it really worked out after that.
That is amazing. Amen. So, how long have you been in the mortgage business now?
8 years now.
8 years. Okay, so you've seen two cycles of the market, and man, feels like we're coming out the other side of this one. It feels like
For sure.
we're about to head into a really good season. So, the one question that I'm always prodded to ask, and that we always get on social media, like when you're talking to top producers, like, where do you get your business from, is what everybody wants to know. So can you give me a breakdown of where the majority of your business comes from?
Yeah, great question. So, and it's changed over the years. When I first got into the business, like I said, I struggled for the first year and a half, as I'm sure most of us LOs did.
Yep.
And then I lucked out and we hit a refi boom. 2019, I did pretty well bringing in, referrals for purchases. But then when 2020 to 2021 hit, I got really blessed, got in a few pockets of friends that referred me all of their friends for refinances. I wasn't doing a lot of purchases at the time.
Yep.
But I was able to live on the refi boom, which then connected me with more realtors. And once the refi started to slow down after the 2022-ish season, I was able to connect with three or four great friends now, but realtors at the time. And I'd say 70% of my business is realtor referral. I'd say probably 20% is previous clients, and then 10% is other. I do have a couple CPAs that will send me deals every now and then. And the bank sends me a few deals every now and then, but it's strongly referral based from my real estate agents.
That is amazing. And so this is really interesting, because we're about, I believe, to go into another, not refinance boom, but absolutely a refinance opportunity.
For sure.
Statistically speaking, I was on an event the other day with a good friend of mine, Carl White, and they presented that it was like 51% of people that could have refied during the refi boom actually did.
Oh, wow.
And there was still like a tremendous amount of refinances out there. And right now we're sitting with like record home equity, record high debt, and home prices still continuing to appreciate. So there's just a phenomenal opportunity for refis out there. So, but what I'm interested in, because I believe that a healthy mortgage business is kind of like 70% purchase, 30% refi, and that's kind of like a healthy business.
Right.
How did you position yourself into referral business as you were going through that refi boom to be where you are today with that more or stronger foundation underneath you?
And that's a great question. And I don't know if I have an exact answer. I'll be completely honest. I pray every day. God, please help me with production. I definitely have found my spirituality with this industry or with this job, and then some other health stuff that I've been able to get past over the last few years. And I honestly think that doors just opened up at the right time. I was able to meet a boutique brokerage in Northern Virginia that I am now their preferred lender, and they have about 70 agents, and that's been beyond a blessing. It just worked out that the other lender was retiring at the time and they needed somebody, and it just a door opened at the exact right time. That, along with, everybody knows that this is a relationship type business, but really trying to befriend your referral partners has been massive for me.
Yeah.
I love most of the people that I work with. So it's just been kind of a natural growth with some of my referral partners. And I feel like I position myself to connect with younger agents that really wanted to be aggressive with me as well.
Hmm.
And yeah, again, it's just been a blessing that I know that I could have died by the refi. What is it? Live by purchase, die by the refi, or whatever
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
saying is. And I know I could have, but I was able to make it out on the other side. And again, I've just been really blessed. And I try to bring my value to my agents as much as possible. And I think that that's why they trust me so much with their clients.
Man, there's so much there, Brendon. Okay, so we have a CRM. It's called the Loan Officer AI CRM, and included in it is all of the qualified agent data. So we have a partnership with Model Match, so it comes as part of the CRM. So you can like click a button on the side and like view all of the agent production. And we teach people within the CRM, like pick somebody who's done 8 or more buy-side transactions, load them into this follow-up sequence, and it's going to add them to the power dialer and help reach out. But you mentioned younger agents, which typically, a lot of the times the producers that are coming up don't necessarily fit that category
Right.
of 8 closed loans in the last, or 8 closed deals in the last 12 months. So can you talk to me about how you approach that in your business? Like, do you have a threshold for who you will build a relationship with? And how do you continue to build those relationships?
Yeah, absolutely. So no threshold. I mean, I've got agents all throughout DC, Maryland, Virginia, and they range and, different lifestyles and everything.
Yeah.
But I've definitely gravitated towards just more aggressive agents that really want to, grow their business on a quicker amount of time. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I plan to do this for the next 30 years. I would love to be able to maybe retire a little bit early. So I'm really trying to grind as much as I possibly can. Again, I've just been really blessed with the productions I've had for the last few years, but finding agents that are willing to, not only do the cold calls with you and do the uncomfortable conversations with you with the clients, but also do the events, do the first time home buyer seminars, do credit specialty educational pieces, not just working, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're working on weekends. We're doing the open houses. We're putting in our time. I took a phone call on the Super Bowl, wrote a prequel on the Super Bowl. I actually wrote a prequel 3 hours before my wedding. The Saturday of my wedding, I wrote a prequel letter for one of my agents. So,
Amazing.
it's all about, adding that value, providing that value to your agents, and then passing that along to the client. So that's what I try my best with. And I want to find passionate people to work with, because again, would love to love to be out of here as sooner than later.
Yep, that makes total sense. Isn't it funny how when you've got the right why, the how and the work actually becomes a joy and makes it easy to do because you know where you're
For sure.
going. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you put systems and processes in place to help your real estate agents follow up on their leads?
I've got a couple. So we use Simple Nexus. I'm sure you're familiar with
Nice.
Simple Nexus, or are you familiar? Okay, so
Yes.
we have Simple Nexus, and we do partnerships with our agents, and they have during the process, once we're under contract, they do all the follow ups and stuff like that. When it comes to leads, we don't have any software that allows us to constantly follow up with the leads, but it's more of, once or twice a week, I'll call some agents and say, hey, who are we shopping right now? Who are we farming right now? Let's give them a shout. If you need me to run estimates, we'll do quick estimates real quick. What
Hmm.
properties are you going to see this weekend? I'll send you, the 4 or 5 properties, a quick estimate. That way they know kind of what we're looking at, and to make sure that they're comfortable with these properties. The way that I run my business is I'll do a quick consultation call, usually 5 to 10 minutes at most, answer any questions that they have, get the basic information that I need, and then I have them fill out an application. But then once the application's filled out, then we jump on a secondary call and go over everything, projected rates. I'll do a soft pull, down payment, closing costs, all that stuff. And I try to get the agent on that, especially towards the end of the call. Once we're done talking about the financial information, I try to get the agent on so that we have a 3-way chat about this is the amount that they can go up to. This is the amount that they're approved for or pre-approved for. However, they're only comfortable at this amount, because a lot of
Right.
our clients, can afford $1 million house, but they don't want to be paying on $1 million house. You know what I mean? So the communication is massive, and most of my agents are very open to jumping on any call we need to have, and it's been a blessing to work with most of my agents for sure.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Do you have a system or process in place to continue to build new relationships with realtors? Is there a dedicated part of your week where you just focus on new relationship building?
Excellent question, and it's funny that you bring that up. Yesterday, myself and the other LOs in our company, we actually had a 2026 business plan meeting.
Nice.
And I've done a great job maintaining my relationships with my realtors. I have not done a great job bringing in new business,
Right.
or sorry, not new business, but new realtors, new referral partners to then, hopefully bring in new business. In 2026, there are a few ideas that we have come up with, one of which I've never thought about before, and I'm absolutely going to utilize it next year. During the during the purchase process, once we make an offer, I will call the listing agent immediately, introduce myself, give them a quick rundown, like my client's good to go. We've run AUS, my underwriters even peeped at their income, yada yada yada, make them feel great. Then I touch base on when appraisals are ordered, when the appraisals come in, when we get the conditional approval, and when we get the clear to close. So I try to get a few touch points, at least 3, if not 4. And then what I've never done before, and what I need to start doing is after closing, maybe a week after closing, show up to the listing agent's office and maybe drop off a gift card or a bottle of wine or something just to congratulate them, introduce myself, because that's at that point that's a warm opening. Again, I've definitely opened a relationship with listing agents by doing those touch points, but I've never done a finishing touch point with a bottle of wine or a gift card or something, just to say, hey, really appreciate your time and effort on that. Would love to connect in the future, see how we can help each other out.
That's absolutely incredible. So we have a process that we've learned over the years, again, from our friends over at the Mortgage Marketing Animals, and they do a weekly status update with the borrower, but also the listing agent. And then they package that together as something that they deliver then to the agent on the other side of the transaction at the end. And it's like,
Wow.
hey, I know I've been keeping in touch with you. And the reason why is because I have this process, and our goal is to generate at least one referred buyer for every 2 transactions that we do together.
Right.
And here's how we do it. And I'd love to just sit down and see if we can run that process on your next deal to see if it's a good fit for you. And so it's a way to ask for the business, but do it in a structured way where it makes sense for the agent, where they're like, oh, yeah, if I do send deals to Brendon, I see how he's going to take that one deal that I send him and try and turn it into 2. That's worth trying out. And we all know once you get the first referral, it's a whole lot easier to just maintain that habit or build a habit
Sure.
with the agent that you're the referral partner. So that might
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Nice.
Working with young agents, building a 2026 business plan, scaling and growing for the future. Where does AI play into that process? Are you looking at artificial intelligence? What's your feelings and thoughts on that in our industry?
I'm probably not the norm. And hopefully I'm not offending anybody. I'm not massive into AI. I'll be
Yep.
completely honest with you that AI kind of freaks me out. I really like to be as personable as possible, but I obviously see the value in it. I do use Homebot.
Sweet.
If you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
I've actually kind of jumped off my traditional CRM, and I kind of use that as a hybrid CRM. And I get way more interaction with that. So I definitely use AI, but I'm not using it the amount that I know a lot of other people are. It kind of weirds me out. I'll be very honest with you, but there's obviously value there without a doubt. I mean, the amount of stuff that you can get done with that is massive. I know Simple Nexus has some AI integration that we can be using that I just haven't really turned on, and maybe it is something that I'll look into more in 2026. But I'd say HomeBot's probably the only AI source that I use in my day to day.
That is amazing. And I think this is a super insightful conversation to have because, so you might not know this, but I think we're up to 55 of the top 100 loan officers on the Scotsman's Guide have been on the show. I know I don't look like a podcast guy, but it's actually like, that's pretty good, you know? And so I'm having these conversations about AI. And as I ask the question, the default answer is always like, okay, like what tools am I using in my toolkit? How am I leveraging AI to like take applications and that sort of thing? And all well and good, totally. And I see that across a lot of industries. But the voice that I'm trying to be and have in our industry, because I've been at this 16 years on the mortgage like marketing side of things, I guess you could call it. I believe that conversations with ChatGPT and Claude and all of the other AI agents are actually the new Google search. I believe that consumer direct is going to be our greatest opportunity. And I believe that when we look at artificial intelligence, teaching our real estate agent partners how to become recommended by the AI and go consumer direct is actually one of our greatest opportunities. Um, so, did you know that ChatGPT now has the Zillow app embedded in it?
I did. I don't use ChatGPT, so I no, but that's pretty massive.
Yeah. So our borrowers are going to be using it as the like, what lender should I talk to?
Oh
And
wow.
so my perspective on artificial intelligence is very much about the we just need to get AI to recommend our business. All the tools and
Right.
whiz bang stuff is great, and we do that through thought leadership. And I think you creating content with your real estate partners has already got you on a great pathway with that, especially the younger agents. So an interesting conversation. Cool. Um, what do you see for next year in the mortgage industry? What do you think it's going to be like?
I mean, the big talk right now, at least in this area, is interest rates. The Federal Reserve. Are we getting a new chairman? Which it seems like we probably are. This administration is definitely pushing to lower rates. It seems like to what you talked about earlier that there most likely will be some sort of refi pocket where we're going to definitely hit a good amount of refis. I don't expect to be sub five, but I'm hoping Govy might go sub five. We might see high fours on some Govy stuff, and maybe conventional settles around low to mid fives. Again, I have no I have no crystal ball. Please don't take my word on it. That's just pure speculation. Um, but it is stuff that I've just been hearing in the industry. So I do expect to see a little bit of a refi pocket, which would be nice. I'd love to be able to save a lot of my clients a lot of money. I've got clients that were in the mid to high sixes, even mid sevens at one point. So being able to save them a few $100s, if not $1,000 a month, would be massive. Um, the housing purchase market will definitely be interesting. I've seen both projections that we're gonna have um, a settlement back to the 2019 pre-COVID market where stuff might resettle, but I've also seen projections where property value will continue to go up. And especially in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, which we're right outside of DC, I feel like we're in such a different bubble because we have the government here.
Yeah.
Now, the government shutdown was very impactful too in a negative way in this area, but now that it's opened back up, it'll be interesting to see how the housing market does, especially in my area. Um, if I'm being honest, I don't expect property value to go down significantly. I think after '08, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, all the different systems put in extremely strict guidelines to make sure that these loans are underwritten and approved that don't allow people to be overextended too much. So I
Yeah.
don't think that we're going to see a financial crisis where people can't afford loans on a substantial scale. We're definitely going to see some foreclosures. Unfortunately, to what you said earlier, it's the largest debt that we've ever had. But I think that has a lot to do with credit card and cars as well.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we don't see a large foreclosure boom. But I don't expect property value to diminish too much. I think that it might stay steady, maybe go up a point or two. Because so many people have so much equity. People that are sitting on the 2, 3, 4%, they're not really in a rush to get out of here.
Yeah.
I do feel for first time home buyers. Obviously, that is the market that is extremely impacted right now. And I still deal with a lot of first time home buyers. I would definitely consider myself a specialist when it comes to the affordability products. Home Ready and Home Possible. That's my bread and butter. I do those loans all day, every day.
Hmm.
And seeing the first time home buyers that are typically the ones that take advantage of that type of loan product, are just getting priced out in it. And I know that's been obvious for a few years now, but it's getting to be um, very unfortunate to see clients having, at least in this area, having to go further west or further south to be able to buy. So it'll be an interesting 2026. I think spring market's going to be pretty hot though. If rates keep going down, I think that the buyers are going to come out of the woodwork, and then sellers are going to feel way more comfortable listing their property. So
Yeah,
I do look forward to it.
that's amazing. That's fantastic. Brendon, have you ever heard of My First Home IQ?
I don't believe I have.
Yeah, so First Home IQ, it's a project that Dave Savage is involved in, and some of the other major leaders, Jeremy Forcier, who's been on the show, he's part of it. And it's just it's an information program to help get education out to first time homebuyers and help them. So something to look into potentially.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it might be another resource for you. Thank you for being so generous with your time and for being on the show. If people want to find out more about you or your team, how you do things over there, how do people reach out?
Yeah. Our website is an easy one. Again, I work for Freedom Bank of Virginia. We are the Freedom Bank mortgage division of that bank. Feel free to give me a shout anytime. Call, text 703-407-1420. I'm pretty good at responding immediately, or within 5 to 10 minutes. Call, text anytime, and also feel free to email me bmurphy@freedombankmortgage.com.
That's amazing. And we'll put all that information in the show notes. Again, thank you for being so generous with your time and sharing with the industry. I sincerely appreciate you.
Yeah, Chris, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. Anytime you want to have me on, would love to come back on and kind of shoot the bull and talk about the industry.
That's amazing. Well, we will definitely do a follow-up. That's awesome.
Sounds great. Have a good one, guys. Merry Christmas.
And thanks for listening.